Welcome back to 602 Row Show. You're not going to get the full greeting, the back to the show entry I usually give because this is season-long picks. If you're new here, there is a season-long strategy video that is posted on the channel. I will link it on your screen right now. And if you're new to us, welcome. This is 602 Row Show. This is Fantasy BIP in this case, but we do all the Bachelor shows for the Rose League Fantasy Bachelor app. The best app, the best way to play, the only live scored app anywhere. So if you like Bachelor, there's no reason not to be playing Fantasy Bachelor. Season long is a fire and forget. You set your lineup once and you never have to worry about it again. So if you're new to fantasy reality shows, or if you just kind of want to be involved but not mess with it every single week, season long is the perfect place for you. There will be spoilers in this episode, probably from here on out, because I'm sick of not thinking about whether they're spoilers or not. So just be aware, they're coming. Real quick, again, watch the strategy video, but really quick, you want the people who are going to be standing at the end. You want the last couples. In the normal season of BIP, it would be all the people paired up or engaged or whatever crap. With the new format, we have no clue what's going to happen. Our sources are really limited because they flew everyone to an island, so the crew is smaller. So we don't really know what happens yet. Common thought is that it'll be something like a Love Island where couples get voted off or voted to stay or some mix of the two. What we do know is that halfway through the season, no new people. It's only going to be 12 men, 12 women, and 12 Goldens. The season-long game only has the young people. There's probably a better way to say that, but you are not here for political correctness. You're here for Bachelor picks. Scoring mostly the same year over year from the last season of Bachelor in Paradise. You get points for swearing, kissing, taking shots, lose points for complaining or rejecting people or being anxious. Like, you're in Paradise, you're getting paid to be there. You need to get over it. The big points at the end are getting engaged, but kind of sounds like that might not be a big thing. Challenges are in play now, so there'll be points for challenges. The fan favorite having a medical emergency, things like that. You can check out the full scoring format on the Rose League app. As far as picks, one thing you do want to do in season long is make sure you are balancing your male and female picks, because they take turns giving out the roses. If you're too stacked one way or the other, you're missing out on points every other episode. So again, we don't really know the format down the end, but the first half of the show is supposed to be the same. So you want a pretty good mix. You want the drama edit that makes it the whole way through. Right off the bat, for me, it's Cat Izzo. Cat Izzo is a mortal lock for your lineups. Not only is she coupled up at the end, okay, spoilers, right? Last warning. Not only is she coupled up at the end with Dale because she's got daddy issues, but she's Cat Izzo and she's a disaster. So I want her in my lineup. I want her in every single lineup that I have. The other woman I'm going with is Jess, and the reason for Jess, and quite frankly, the reason for my third pick, Spencer, is because the data that we have says that they're the most serious couple. They're the most likely to get engaged, most likely to make it to the end. If there's some kind of voting where they're the best couple, they're the ones that are going to be there at the end. So, Kat, Jess, Spencer for my top three. Now I really need to back into some other guys who have the potential for a lot of screen time. Screen time equals points. Jonathan, who, if you believe the spoilers we have, bounces around a little bit, gets saved by a golden, finds himself in weird situations, but also finds himself at the end with a partner. So again, we don't really know how the voting off is going to work, if that's even what happens. But Jonathan ends up with Leah, who is not available to pick, and rides out at least the first half of the season. Then we'll go from there. Then I started looking at the other guys. I needed another guy for my lineup, and I kept coming back to Brian. Brian was horrifically boring the last time we saw him. But here's why I want Brian. Based on our spoilers, even though you can't pick her for your lineup, Brian ends up with Parisa. Parisa was a walking point machine in her season because she was a disaster. If we know anything about Paradise, it's that you cannot be in drama without your partner. So if Brian ends up with Parisa, I want Brian in my lineup. Kat, Jess, Spencer, Jonathan, Brian. That is my season-long lineup for BIP. I would love to see in the comments some pivots. Alex is an interesting choice. She almost made my lineup over Brian. I want a piece of Parisa, and not being able to put her into my lineup, I had to go that way. But Zoe McGrady's another one that I could see hitting, but Zoe goes home at some point. So drop it in the comments. Let me know how you're building your lineup out without the challenge of making the pricing fit. You can really do whatever you want. So what you want to do is make sure it fits your narrative. You really want the people at the end. You really want to be able to say, I want this person over this person because X, right? Whether X is depth of competition or more screen time or drama, but make sure that you are basing it on the spoilers you have, what we've seen from a very, very limited promo package, and then just like what we know about these characters and the way the producers might use them, understanding we have new producers, we have new showrunners, so the narrative that has worked for 30 seasons of Bachelor might not work here. So keep it in mind. But they're going to continue to do the things that people like this show for, while trying to augment the things they don't like. So give me Kat Izzo to make a mess at least one episode, and I'm willing to be wrong. I'm willing to lose on a Kat Izzo pick, because I would rather lose with her in my lineup than lose with her not in my lineup and have her blow up. So think about that. Think about your narrative. Hit me in the comments. Keep an eye out for the bread and butter, the real moneymaker, the week-to-week picks for opening night. That video will either be up if you do not subscribe to the channel, or if you subscribe, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, share, and the video will be up in a couple days. So get ready for BIP. Make sure you're playing on the Rose League app, the best app, the only live scored app for Fantasy Bachelor, and we'll see you on the beach. Thanks, guys.